or this is just one off. 6 years ago when I went for my mom's burial, I have never been so afraid in my own hometown like I was that night. So it was around 2 a.m. So we had a lot of people who came for the burial as well, like people who came home. And I had to put them in different places, it wasn't like hotels, because Sudogbolu now, that was my hometown. You know what I mean? So people had, like, as they say, we are almost like, all of us are like families. So I'm friends. So I had people stayed in, my past family house. So I was like checking on them in the middle of the night, going there from here to there. Then we were at a place and I just sat there chilling in the house. We were talking. Then I started hearing. Then we came to the balcony. And there they were. Almost 1,000 cows. Right? Like herd of cows, right? They were all trekking on that street in the middle. I mean, it's not even the middle of the night, it's like at 2 a.m. I was like, what is this? And the person who lived in that place said, well, that's what we deal with here. There's nothing we can do. Because nobody wants their trouble. Nobody wants their wahala. Because if you try anything now, they may come back, they may start killing people. It's like, so, at least we are hearing the news of other places that people have tried to chase them away. I was like, what? So if this guy just started to kind of, in the middle of this night, decided to just unleash their horror on everybody here. Like, me, I've been covering their story anyway. So I was like, so this is how it is done. If they are not bringing cows, if they're just bringing like 300, 400 of them in this wee hour, no lights, everywhere is so dark, and they have all their guns and machetes, they can just, like, free of charge like that, they can start killing people if they want to. So this is how it happens. Like, what the heck, man? But 6 years after that, now you have a situation where people move to a community, not because they want to contribute to their community anymore. Okay. I'll leave it at that, and then let's go to something else. Boy, it's that scary. That is scary. And I hope, right, the, what do you call it, the youth who have taken it upon themselves to keep their community safe are not going to be haunted by the same government of, not just Edo. Now that they have APC, that is about to take over Edo State, I hope they will protect the Exako people, especially the Agenabode youth. But Nigeria, it could be, it could be the reign of terror that is not going to chase out the terrorist, but will actually be a reign of terror on the community, supervised by their supposed leaders, who will say, well, now you Kosam, why did you go on? So to those ones that they have not burnt or killed, I hope they manage to kind of get them and take them, hold them up, for their crimes too. I mean, if you kidnap people, this is not a pass, okay? If you kidnap people and you collect ransom, why do you have to kill them? For a cover-up, right? The heart of man is evil. And I really can't really explain it or understand, rather, I can't really understand it. So today, it is what Nigeria has become, you will say. Well, let's leave that. And then take on this. The man who was appointed as GMD of NNPC, the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, who changed the whole thing and said it is now a private company, is saying something about subsidy. Especially where they're supposed, not only arrested, they're supposed to like chain him, right? Chain him until he confesses those who he has been working with in milking you. Then after that, just give him a little injection, as they call it, with what they have done to Nigeria. They mortgage Nigeria's resources, change the whole thing, change the papers, and put themselves at the center of it. the beneficiary. But they have a repeated story they usually tell Nigerians. The reason why subsidy has to go is because some people are taking the oil to resell it at the neighboring country. Old lies. This guy is repeating it in 2024. Listen.
Last 40-something years, PMS has always been subsidized. And subsidy is creating arbitrage. That means there's a difference between price in one location lower than what it should be with another location. The evacuation from the table averaged 51 in recent times. And when Mr. President announced the removal of subsidy in June, what it did is calibrated price. It came to market. There's no longer any value in anyone taking the product across the border. If you do, you're not going to make those profits that you do. I'll give you an example. If the delta is significant, like if you are selling twice the price across in a 6,000 liter truck, you can actually gain up to 70 million naira from just one truck. So how are you going to stop someone who can just with 2 trips across the border will make 17 times 2, which is the price of the truck itself? So if you don't arrest it, then it's over. He has made his money. Versus when you take a truck legally, what's the cost of a truck now? Maybe 60,000. You take it to maybe 8 million naira, for instance, to Maiduguri. The legitimate value you have is less than 500,000 naira. So why would I see 70 million naira and then take all the trouble, go to Maiduguri, keep it in the fuel station for 1 month, and just make 300,000 to 400,000 naira? The challenge you have in all these countries, you have taxation on PMS. We don't have tax here. So in many of these countries, actually government revenue is dependent on the taxes that's coming on PMS. So you will see that until you balance for that, you recover your market costs and add taxation on it, there is no way you will ever get to a situation where there is some kind of market parity between us and our neighbors. But you will not be losing money as long as you are not in a subsidy. Last 40-something years, PMS has...
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Honestly speaking, this is the lie, okay, that they have cooked repeatedly, and they have been repeating it to make it sound like it's the truth. But let me see if I can possibly explain some things to us, to those who have heard that lies many times. I have heard it too. I mean, I almost believed it until I figured out that it's not making any sense. Here it is. They make you believe, or they made you believe that importation of petroleum to Nigeria is done by some people that used to be. In fact, to make you understand this subsidy scam and lies, that's why I said these people deserve death sentence, not life imprisonment, death sentence, because they are economic saboteurs, sabotaging the economy of that Nigeria from time immemorial. But this time, it is the worst type of saboteurs that you have in Nigeria, with straight face, criminals. Before these guys came in, Goodluck Ebere Jonathan's government, right? They were able to keep the Nigeria refineries working at over 50% capacity. Listen, Nigeria refineries could actually really refine more than 25 million liters of petroleum every day. Port Harcourt refinery was working. I don't think some of you probably remember that anymore. To you, they never worked, have you? They were working. Warri refinery was working. But the thing was that not at the full capacity. And that was why they needed extra importation. Then, let's say Nigeria was consuming maybe 25 to 30 million liters of petroleum every day. Right? Then the Goodluck Ebere Jonathan's government realized that they were inflating the figure of how much liters the Nigerians were consuming. Who were those? The guys in the DPRA or DPR or whatever they call themselves, in the NNPC guys. Oh, they had independent marketers, the people that will bring in petroleum products to supplement what Nigeria was refining. So that was like saying they had to inflate the figure. Okay, inflating the figure means Nigeria needs 60 million liters, even though the total liters of petroleum Nigerians need almost daily is probably around 30 million, 35 million. I mean, if you fill your tank, this was like a practicable analysis now, okay? If I fill my tank today, I'm not going to fill it tomorrow, except I'm a transportation company, right? And with the statistics available then, almost half of the supposed people buying the fuel, half of them don't need to refill every day. So therefore, it was put that averagely, the consumption of petroleum in Nigeria was put at between 23 and 25 million. But the criminals in NNPC who have figured out that they needed to kind of supplement what they have in order not to put the entire country into like no fuel. So they created a rule where some people were given licenses to import fuel into Nigeria. So the corruption therein was, I got a license, you have a license, and this person have a license to bring in petroleum to Nigeria. So normally, if I say I am bringing 100 million liters, and you are bringing 200 million liters, at least you are not bringing it every day. That may be your whole month batch that will batch in Lagos. Then you can now say, this is my own petrol that I'm bringing to Nigeria, that I just brought to. The landing cost is 120 naira. And then the government will be like, hey, we can't let you go and sell it for 130 naira or 140 naira. Nigerians will kill us. We are going to buy it from you. Okay? As NNPC, they will say, you know what? We want you to sell it. Is your crude, is your oil, now you bring them over. Hey, we want you to sell it for 87 naira per liter. We'll pay you the difference. That just opened the door for the corruption cost subsidy that Jonathan discovered. The moment they started that, what these criminals were now doing was, saying at them demo. One of them is the governor of Ogun State today. Okay? Dubious Dapo of Ogun State. So what they would do is that they would just come in partnership with the NNPC criminals. They would now say, my own, I have brought in 200 million liters. NNPC won't check it. They say, okay, 200 million. Okay. What is the difference? Well, you have to pay me 85 billion naira before I can now, because if you don't want me to go and sell it for 150 naira per liter, you need to pay me 85 billion naira so that I can go and sell it at my own filling stations. NNPC is not taking it from them. Like NNPC was supposed to take it from them. Like that is like say, we'll buy it from you. No, the arrangement then was I will pay you the difference so that you can go and sell it to Nigerians at the price we have told people to be buying, 87 naira. That was the window of that corruption of subsidy that you are hearing. So when Jonathan has realized that within a year, between 2010 and 2011, between 2011 and 2012, Nigeria is now spending almost 200 billion naira subsidizing the product brought in by marketers. Because this is not sustainable. A company like Nigeria no dey produce, Nigeria no dey refine his own crude oil at all. This is not sustainable. No, we can't do this. So we need to remove the subsidy. If you want to sell it for 150 naira, go and sell it. We are not, because they now discovered that after they pay them that difference, remember, they've inflated the figure. It's not the actual figure. NNPC did not show interest that we want to see the fuel. Let's see it. Let's see. Let's measure it. How many liters? Did you say 200 million? Let's see the 200 million liters. Did you say 150 million liters? Well, let's see the 150 million. No, it was all corruption. Here you get. They will just they will raise the invoice, raise the money, raise the invoice. So these guys were like, even though they didn't bring 200 million liters, that same ship that brought the fuel, it will just turn from Apapa all the way to Cameroon. Cameroon no dey subsidize fuel. Ghana no dey subsidize fuel. It's only Nigeria. And since the deal is between them and the NNPC, they just move to Ghana, move to Benin, move to Cameroon to go and offload it there and sell it at whatever price it is there. That was why Jonathan said, no, we have to remove subsidy. We are not paying subsidy to anybody anymore. And you know what happened now? Ojota protest. Nationwide protest. Occupy Nigeria. Remember, 2012. Meanwhile, when Jonathan removed that subsidy, it was like, before they removed the subsidy, they actually plotted that, you know what? If these guys, these marketers are going to hold us hostage, it's going to be from the transportation system, right? Now we need to supply as many buses, mass transit, to as many states as possible. In fact, we will give the money to some of these states, right, to cushion the effect. I wasn't so young then, 2012. Unfortunately, when those buses got down to Ogun State, over 40 mass transit buses were given to Ogun State before Jonathan announced that subsidy removal. Guess what? Irokunle Omamoshi was the governor of Ogun State then. They locked the entire buses down there at the parade ground, Okemosan, Abeokuta. They did not supply the buses to the local government. They were supposed to put two of those buses. Ogun State has 20 local government areas. Two buses were supposed to be from the state capital. Two buses were supposed to be supplied to 20 local government areas to ease whatever it was going to be the cost of transportation then. But it was ACN and Jonathan was PDP. So they locked the buses up. They started the campaign. Jonathan wanted to kill everybody. Not only that, Jonathan now started probing the subsidy payment that they paid in the last 1 year. Dubious Dapo was supposed to go to jail. But because of that protest and the reversal, Dubious Dapo is a governor in Ogun State today. And Ogun State people don't see him, Abi? Now they feel him now. You know they feel him. So the campaign then that Jonathan want to kill everybody. Jonathan this, Jonathan that. Yeah. And all of that. That was the last time they gave license to people. They gave license to individuals to bring fuel to Nigeria. But in 2024, 12 years after that, this Olori Bruku is talking about people diverting fuel to another country, which is not true. Since Bokwari came on as your president, you know what they did? NNPC became the sole importer. Then, it is no longer individuals anymore. It is now NNPC that is now bringing fuel. But they are still selling the old lies to people, making it look like there are some marketers. So the marketers in Nigeria now have to go to NNPC right? To now buy whatever the regulated, subsidized, whatever it is. So NNPC is using Nigeria money to import fuel. NNPC is now paying subsidy to Ghost. Ghost. You don't know who they are paying it. Back in Jonathan's time, they knew who were collecting the subsidy. Now, you don't know who is collecting it until recently, when it became obvious that Tifnubu is paying the subsidy to himself. So NNPC was using Nigeria money to bring in fuel, adulterated fuel, reselling it to marketers in Nigeria, determining how much they will sell, and announcing to Nigerians that they are paying subsidy because it costs, listen, you use Nigeria money to import fuel. Now you are telling Nigerians that the landing cost is 1,000 something, and you are paying subsidy on it. So under Bokwari, they started paying over 428 billion naira every month. That was far more than what Jonathan was paying in a whole year. Go and check the record. Jonathan's government was paying between 150 billion and 300 billion naira on subsidy a year. That is less than 25 billion, or about $25 billion, billion naira every month. Now, these criminals came and they started paying over 420 billion naira on subsidy, but you kept paying more for the fuel. Who are you paying the subsidy to? To themselves. They won't give you a name. No, they won't. So when Tifnubu came and said subsidy was gone, he was saying those people collecting it that time, they are gone. It's now his own turn. Emilio Con. And that is why you see the person collecting the subsidy today is Yohando Wale Tinubu on behalf of Tifnubu. From there, this mixing or whatever it is called from Malta today. And then they changed NNPC to NNPCL, a private company where people get shares. We don't know those who get the shares. We don't know who they collect the money. Right now, they are robbing Nigerians so much that this Olori Puruku went on TV and said, when Mr. President removed subsidy, it is because some people are diverting petrol to Cameroon. They are diverting. What the heck? Huh? And then you see the educated ones, they are helping them to spread the same lie. Who are those diverting petrol? Here NNPC don't divert petrol, lost Cameroon. I be the oil marketer that buy fuel from NNPC. They are the ones loading the tanker, moving it to Cameroon. I buy from you. I can sell wherever I want. Abi? Anyway, remember when Adisirika came and decided to scam the whole country? And I remember when some of them were like, may Nigeria succeed. May Bokwari succeed. And that is why when you look at those who are telling you today that Tifnubu inherited a bad country, you would think it was APP that handed over to APC, or PDP handed over to Tifnubu APC. It was Bokwari APC that handed over to Tifnubu APC. The same people who told you then that Bokwari was building Nigeria, give him time. There are those who have now metamorphosed to the Ronukus today, and they are the one telling you that Tifnubu inherited a collapsed country. From who? Nigeria here. Man, God bless Bokwari. Bokwari is bringing Nigeria. Now I can't wait to fly in Nigeria here. I can't wait. I said, hang on. If you are going to start a airline, a national carrier, there are some certain things we should be seeing. For example, we should be seeing them probably doing some recruitment